So where were we? We started the 7th unit, no? So in the 7th unit, where are we? So what we discussed in the 7th unit, I forgot that. Okay, till RT we have done, no? Philosophical basis of probity and governance. This we have not done. So first we will see this. Then we'll move to the next topic. For this, we'll discuss about Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, see here we are not going to talk about ethics. We are going to talk about ethics in politics. What these people has said. Because probity means what? Probity means what? Ethical. Sticking to ethical principles in your official work. Okay, that is probity. So here what these people have said related to probity. That only we are going to see. So limited, not much about these people. And once we are doing the philosophical part separately, then we'll be discussing about these people again. So see Socrates, what he has said. Socrates was talking always about the welfare of people. So welfare of people first and the concept of equality. So when he is saying, he's discussing, he used to say that a monarchy, he always supports a monarchy form of government. So what is monarchy? Where a person rules, where an individual rules a collective interest. So that is monarchy. So he says that, see, even though the king is there, the king should not consider his own welfare. He has to take the welfare of the people into account. So this is the main foremost principle supported by Socrates, and this is something called as the probity. The principle of probity to be followed by the ruler. Okay, he should not keep an eye on his interest. He should not satisfy his own self-interest, but he has to take care of the interest of the individuals, all the other individuals who are there under him, who are under his rule. So people are very happy. Today you have come. Fine. Even the weather is foggy, you have arrived. You received the information from the management that today at 10 o'clock. I itself informed lately only because I was booking the cab and I don't get the cab. Then I called Rohit sir and I informed him, sir, please inform the students. They may come and wait here. And so otherwise, like, let them come lately also. I thought today there will be no one. 10 from tomorrow. Today only, but 10 I have started. Shortly I came. From tomorrow we'll have on 10 and we'll end at 12:30 as usual because the weather is very bad. I thought today they'll cancel the classes because no visibility, no. So then equality. So Socrates was supporting on the principle of equality. He said it is the foremost principle a ruler has to keep in mind. So if it is a ruler, now it is an administrator. Administrator is more or less like equivalent to a ruler because here we have a democratic form of government. And we know what is meant by democratic form of government, where the collective people rules through their representatives and they themselves cannot establish this principle. So the representatives of the people has to keep this in mind, that the welfare of the people has to be considered as foremost principle, and equality has to be the prior principle where all the people has to be treated equally. That is why our constitution itself carrying this principle as the foremost principle. Okay, so this was the idea of Socrates. Then came Plato. So what have we learned about Plato? There is one uniqueness about Plato. He used to talk about the philosopher king. This is a very popular concept of Plato. He used to talk about philosopher king. He used to say that, all men cannot be a king. Only those who are learned and those who are well versed in philosophy can be made as a king. And also, in order to become a king, this person has to withdraw from his personal interest. At least here they said that the people's interest has to be considered as a foremost principle. Then, you can also live according to your own interest. But here Plato says that as a king, if you want to become a king or if you want to become an administrator, you have to abandon all your interest. You should not have your own family. You should not have your own children. Okay, so he proposed the idea of bringing up the children in a common place, in a common collective way. So you cannot, each and every individual, after the child is born, after age, they have to be raised together. There should not be differentiation between the children, that this is a king's child, this is a common man child. No such way. Even the ministers also. So then, like that, his idea was totally different. So he was supporting a philosopher king, and his principle is justice. He said justice has to be followed as the foremost principle, and through justice only we can bring ethics inside the working, the work culture. So that's how Plato's idea was. And Aristotle was totally not talking about any principle. He was just supporting the form of government. Anna. So what are the forms of government which is going to bring, the probity or ethical values? So he supported, you can say, the monarchy instead of tyranny. Okay. So monarchy and democracy was opposed by first. At least he was supporting monarchy and aristocracy. What is aristocracy? He said democracy is totally a waste. Yeah. Ruled by aristocrats. Oligarchy means it's totally a powerful people, especially the business people. We say the interest of the business people or the business community will dominate in that particular culture. But here in democracy, he say that the needy people, the interest of needy people has to be considered. And if it is so, then we cannot run the business of the state in a proper way. So that started that from the Aristotle started this idea. And Machiavelli is totally against this probity in governance. And if you want to write, you don't write about Machiavelli, but in order to make you understand, I just put Machiavelli here, but he was, Socrates and Plato was supporting the supporting the probity in governance. And Aristotle was against the form of government which is supporting the probity in governance. Especially we are now talking about the democratic form of government which is going to bring in a probity type of principles inside governance. So the values. The governance should be based on certain values, ethical values that we are telling. And we are talking about the democratic form of government. That is where collective interest will be taken into account. But this person, Aristotle, was totally against it. And he said that a single rule is quite good than a democratic form of government. Because here, in spite of collective interest, every people will take care of their own collective interest. So they come together, they try to erode the governance totally. And then came Machiavelli. Machiavelli said that, see, this is totally, the probity in governance cannot be followed. It is a utopian concept. He said, as a ruler, no, governance is totally regarding ruling, bringing in how the government operates. So according to Machiavelli, he said that, probity is like, I'll be forwarding notes, no need to take. I'm just making you to understand the concept, utopian concept, because he said that as a ruler cannot simply stick to ethical principles. He said, whom he is going to rule? He is going to rule the humans. How humans are? By nature, they are greedy. They are selfish. Everyone wants more for themselves. You want to satisfy. Just take any human being. They want to satisfy their own self-interest first, not the other person's interest. If there is some emergency, what we will do, whether you will carry a old lady or you will run. You just push. Even if the old lady asks for help, we just push her down. You run on your own. I want to save my life. This is how the mentality of the people, except a few. So the human interest comes first. That's how Machiavelli said that, see, in order to satisfy the interest of the people, if the ruler tried to abandon everything and try to take into account the people's interest, and he's only considering as sticking to the ethical principles, there cannot be any proper government. Okay. The government cannot be done in that way. You also use Machiavelli when you're writing about morality and politics. There is a topic, for you. In which unit we saw that? Second unit, I hope so, Morality versus politics. Second unit only, na? Or any other unit? First unit or second unit? Moral and political attitude, there is a topic no for you. In second unit only, I think. So in that, when you're writing about morality and politics, you can use Machiavelli. When Machiavelli has said that as a ruler, he has to conserve his rule. He has to protect his rule. In order to protect his rule, he was the first one to talk about the dirty hands in politics. Now we are talking about dirty hands. No, he was the one first to talk about dirty hands in politics. He said that in order to establish political rule, political control, and in order to win over the control of the people, this person, ruler, cannot simply stick to ethical principles at all times. That you have to keep in mind. That means he should not be totally a gunda. He's not coming to say in that manner. He says that if necessary, he has to use. He has to be compassionate enough to the people's interest. But if necessary, he has to take cruelty in his hands. Okay, then only we can bring law and order in the country. Anna? So this is what his idea is. These are all some of the collection of philosophical basis of probity in governance. In that, if you are trying to mention, when you are writing a 7th unit, you have to mention about Socrates and Plato. Okay, and you can also mention about the one with the Kautilya. Kautilya, na? Chanakya. So already we have seen about him, and I'll also forward notes about him related to good governance. What and all he has said, how the Amatyas has to be selected on the basis of merit, how a ruler has to be. He also said the same thing. No, he also said the ruler's interest has to be put first. And same way in Mahabharata, we have seen how a ruler has to put the welfare of the people at the foremost in priority. Then now we'll start the new topic. So this I forgot, so I have put it here. Now we'll start with citizen charter. Okay. So we have done RTA, and there is in RTA, there is a centrally sponsored scheme. Write and keep, search and tell me the name of that scheme. Let me see who's identifying that scheme. In 2010, they started this scheme in order to propagate the idea of RTA, in order to create awareness among the people related to RTA. The scheme was started. Okay, please check. Citizen charter. So what is citizen charter? Yes. It's nothing but it's a set of viewpoints citizen charter is a set of viewpoints. It's a set of viewpoints with respect to service provided, okay, from the receiver perspective. Receiver perspective, that is very important. Citizen charter means, see, it's a set of viewpoints related to the services provided. It can be of any way. It can be the one who provide the services. From his angle, he may depict certain types of viewpoints, but it is not that. It's important that from the receiver perspective, here the customer is like a god, as Mahatma Gandhi has rightly described it. Even when we are trying to give some money to the beggars, it doesn't mean that you are in the upper hand. The beggar is one who has brought you that fame. Same way, when you are talking about the customers and the employee relationship, you are saying that the customer has made you to be an employer who was working for him. So you have to be loyal to him. You have to do service to him. So he should not be made to wait and beg in front of you. In spite, you have to come down from your chair. You have to receive him with courtesy. You have to provide him the services. This is how the mentality of the people has to be, and that made the basis for citizen charter. So if I want to rightly say, we will take the definitions for citizen charter, don't worry. So how this citizen charter evolved, how it came. So from 1991, it was in John Major government, UK. Is there any karate classes going on? I have a doubt. Lot of noises running inside the classes. Classes there or no? No classes. Only students are there. That's why. Okay, good. So this, through this UK John Major government, they thought of reforming the services. They thought that services has to be people friendly. So how it can be made people friendly? Then there should be some charter that has to be given to the people for reference, that if they get into a public office, they should be very convenient. You go to a private office, without you are asking anything, those people will, there will be 3 people standing in front of you. Even though you are just trying to put your leg inside, they will catch your hand and drag you inside. No, they will help you with all the pamphlets, with all that. They will make you very friendly in nature, and you also feel comfortable with them because you have answer for everything. Or even if you don't have, there will be a person standing there to attend you. But that in the case of public office, we don't have anyone. We just go there. There is this, because of, as we have already discussed about informational asymmetry. Bring that here. So informational asymmetry has put up with a common man, he is not able to get proper information related to the services provided in the public office, the business transacted. Who is the right person to approach for the right business? What are the services they are providing? All this, there is no idea for a common man. So here there is information asymmetry in the public office. And what happened? The one who is holding the information is the service providers. They are in the upper hand than the one who is going to receive it. So now this person is running post to post to get the services done. He doesn't know who is the right person to approach. What is the right time to approach? What are the documents he has to carry for every now and then? For every time he is going here, coming back, going here, coming back. Like this red tapeism is existing. So the informational asymmetry leading to red tapeism in public offices. And what happens? Here comes another creature in the name of middleman. So what happens? These people try to steal the place. Now there is a lot of distance between the customer and the public service provider. So what happens? There should be another person who try to utilize this time, utilize this situation and try to gain money from the common man in order to get the services done quickly and fastly. So he knows everything about the public office. So he stands there, he asks, he captures a common man who is don't know anything, and he is also having a lot of hesitant to approach the public office. So he comes and he try to take money from the public where the services are done at free of cost. But you're paying now, you're paying money to them. Okay, so there comes the flaw. Corruption. Corruption starts here in the public office. Now it ends up in social corruption. I think you would have heard about this word, social corruption. China is very famous for that. Nowadays, India also. India is no way lower than any country in anything, no? Social corruption. So what is social corruption? Corruption means we all know. Bribes, giving and taking. Social corruption means you hear one man collects it. It will be shared throughout the entire office. One person takes the money, it will be shared accordingly. Peon takes, 10 rupees. And above person, 20 rupees, 30 rupees. Then he is the higher officer, give him 100. This way, every officers will join hands to corrupt the public. That is called a social corruption, which is existing officially in China, but here it is unofficially only. It is not made officially, otherwise it will be very worse. So you take definition for citizen charter, then we'll move step by step in citizen charter. Citizen charter. So first definition, okay, for citizen charter, put a hyphen and write. First one, first definition. It's a set of viewpoints. It's a set of viewpoints. It's a set of viewpoints. Set of viewpoints of the users of public service. It's a set of viewpoints of the users of public service. The set of viewpoints of the users of public service. Okay. Next definition. Next definition. It's a non-agency device. It's a non-agency device, non-agency device. It's a non-agency device. It's a non-agency device for people's participation. It's a non-agency device for people's participation. For people's participation. Okay, the next one. It is a manifestation of, it is the manifestation of, it's the manifestation of public organization's choice. It's a manifestation of public organization choice. Public organization's choice towards, sorry, public organization choice to provide quality services. Public organization's choice to provide, it is a manifestation of public organization choice to provide quality services, to provide quality services, quality services, to provide quality services to the clients, to build efficiency and effectiveness, to build efficiency and effectiveness, to build efficiency and effectiveness of public services, to build efficiency and effectiveness of public services. Okay. Another definition you can write. It views public services, it views public services, it views public services through, it views public services through the eyes of, it views public services through the eyes of those who use them. Okay, those who use them. So is it enforceable? Enforceable? How? No, it is not enforceable. Write that line. You'll make this mistake. So next point, in the definition itself, you can mention it is not enforceable by the, it is not enforceable. It is not an enforceable document. That's it. It's not an enforceable document, comma. It is not an enforceable document, comma, but provides, it is not an enforceable document, but provides a tool for improving, but provides a tool for improving, public service delivery system, tool for improving public service delivery system, okay, based on certain standards, quality and time frame, based on certain standards, quality and time frame, certain standards, quality and time frame, right? Then why citizen charter? Okay, what are the objectives of citizen charter? Anyway, you can take, just write in simple point number 1 like that. Okay, so why we need citizen charter? Already I discussed one point. You would have remembered that, no? So in order to reduce the informational asymmetry, you can write that as a point. Informational asymmetry. Second, same way, to increase transparency and accountability. To increase transparency and accountability. Okay, like that. I'm saying you write one by one. Number 3. After doing this, you tell me. I'll tell third point. To increase transparency and accountability. Third, to improve the quality of services. Quality of services provided. To improve the quality of services provided. Done? To improve the quality of services provided. Fourth, to promote choices. To promote choice. To promote choice. To promote choice. Next point, using resources effectively, using resources effectively, using resources effectively, then set standards of service, set standards of service, set standards of service. Then you write openness also, next point. It brings in openness. It promotes openness or brings in openness. Next point. So what I said, set standards of service. After that, you have to write. It brings in openness. It improves innovation. Innovation. Okay, like this. These are the points set by the UK. One who has brought this service, sorry, the citizen charter to the people. Later, how it came into India. So we said that from 1991, the John Major government has introduced this concept of citizen charter. There is a slight difference between Indian citizen charter and the citizen charter, which was there practiced in UK. And it was borrowed as such by every government. But in Indian government, there is a slight modification also. Okay, so how it came into India. So who are the first people to first form the citizen charter? As you would have seen, the Consumer Promotion Council. We have Consumer Promotion Council. Okay. Which is in Delhi. So around 1991, they are the first people who, along with the help of consumer right activists, has formulated a citizen charter for the health service providers. Okay, the first thing it was done for is for health service providers. This will just make us note. I'm not going to give dictation and all. If you want, you can make it as a note. So around 1991, they are the first one to formulate the citizen charter, the consumer right activist. And they submitted in the Consumer Promotion Council in Delhi. So in this way, the first idea of citizen charter entered into India. Then later, in 1996, state chief ministers meet. Still now we are having that? No, all the chief ministers will come together. They will have a discussion. There is some meeting like that. It is going on. Still now it is there. So the state chief ministers meeting. This citizen charter was proposed as an idea inside bringing an effective and responsive government to the people. The topic was like this: effective and responsive government. Okay. How a government can be effective and responsive in delivering public services. Like this, there was a report submitted in the Chief Minister's Council. In that, they proposed citizen charter has to be taken forward. So every department in the ministries, every ministries and every departments, you have to have citizen charter, the public office. All those people who are going to interact with the public to provide are those who are going to give public services. Previously, it was only government. But now it is not like that. All those private players who are also associated with the government in providing the public services has to have or formulate a citizen charter. This is the idea which was proposed at that time. And there is a department called Department of Public Grievances and Administrative Reforms. Like that, there is a department. Note that department alone. Who is responsible for implementing citizen charter? Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances is responsible for this. For what? For coordinating and formulating the citizen charter. Okay, so the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances took the task of coordinating, formulating, and operating the citizen charter. So note like that. The Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances took the task of coordinating, formulating, and implementing the citizen charter. Okay. Then that means operating the citizen charter. So like this, it entered into India. Now, what are those? Done this? Shall I change the slides? So what are those ideas of citizen charter which we have brought into India. Citizen charter of India. What are those things it will have? Already we have seen that the citizen charter means it has to carry what it has to provide to the public. But what will Indian citizen charter carry? That we are going to see now. You can write the vision and mission. This will be present in every citizen charter of every country. One and only exception I will write in different color. Vision and mission statement of the organization has to be there. Second, details of business transacted. Third, details of clients. Provided to different client groups. All these are common. All the country citizen charter will carry all these things, the vision and the mission statement of the organization. So what will be the details of the businesses they are going to provide, the client group, or who can be the client of their organization. Then what are the services provided to each and every client groups? Okay. So then last one, and grievance redressal also. If this is not done in a timely manner, who is the officer responsible for addressing the issues the people is facing? So that grievance redressal mechanism. But what is expected from the clients, from the customers? That is the unique nature of Indian citizen charter. All the other countries, they are saying what the government office has to do. But here they are also asking what the customer who is approaching the organization also how they have to behave. Because in India, no. The people, if they are giving something, they will push each and every one. There will be no queue. Even getting into bus, nobody will get into the bus. They will always drag one by one. They will all go without not in a queue. So that's keeping that in mind. They came up with this also. Expectation from client. What the client has to do, how he has to behave, what are those things he has to carry. All these they are not aware of. So in order to expect that from the client, they have put this option inside the Citizen Charter of India. Right? So now you write one important topic related to Citizen Charter. This much is enough. We can discuss something related to the Citizen Charter a bit, like who gives what and all. So for example, you write, give an example for this taxpayers charter. Okay. Citizen Charter of India, you give an example. Even now Panchayat are drafting their own citizen charter. Know that? No. Very recently 60 Panchayats has come up with the citizen charter of their own. Okay. So you write, for example, taxpayers charter. Taxpayers charter. It was launched in 2020. Okay. 2 years back, they have launched this. Now it is almost 3 years. So mainly this is for, they brought e-filing of taxation. No. So transparency taxation, faceless taxation, seamless taxation. In that time, they launched this also, the taxpayers charter. So what are the first in that 2 sections are there. Always a charter will be in this manner only. Taxpayers, you write taxpayers charter. In that commitment to taxpayers, that is what an organization has to provide to taxpayers. That is the first part. Okay, commitment to taxpayers. That's the first part of the taxpayers charters. Commitment to taxpayers. So there are around 12-13 commitments. We need not write everything. For example, you can write few. Commitment to taxpayers. Number 1, provide complete and accurate information to the taxpayer. First one is related to information. You can write, provide complete and accurate information to the taxpayers. Second, trust taxpayers. Trust taxpayers as honest. Provide complete and accurate information. Okay. Second, trust the taxpayers as honest. Trust taxpayers. Sorry, are you right? Treat taxpayers as honest or trust them anyway. Okay. So first point is related to information. You have to provide accurate and correct information. Second is trusting the taxpayers. That means consider them as honest. Most places, if you go, now it is faceless transaction. But previously, if you go, then you are not complying with, then they will give some remarks to you. No. So you people used to do like this only. You try to evade the taxes. Mistakenly, we would have committed some mistakes. We want to rectify it, we go to the taxpayers department, but they will try to treat in this way. So they said that how a taxpayer has to be treated. They has to be treated as a honest person only. Next, provide timely decision. Provide timely decisions. Timely decision. You would have faced some issues. You will wait for the solution from their side. They will not provide it in timely manner. Okay, so provide timely decision. Collect the correct amount of tax. Collect the correct amount of tax. Provide mechanisms to lodge complaint. Put ... like this. We have a lot of commitments towards a taxpayer. Provide mechanisms to lodge complaint. Provide mechanisms to lodge complaint. So these are some of the commitments of the, the tax towards the taxpayers. The office commitment towards the taxpayers. What a income tax office has to provide to a taxpayer. This way we have a lot of points under this. Same way you write expected from the client. Expected from taxpayers. Who are the clients? Expected from taxpayers. How the taxpayers has to behave. What are those things they have to do? So under that, you can write few. Number one, be honest and compliant. Be honest and compliant. Be honest and compliant. Be honest and compliant. Respond in time. Respond in time. Okay. Then keep accurate records. Keep accurate records. Respond in time. Keep accurate records. Respect the representatives. Respect the representative. Representatives, no, nowadays they are allotting a representative for the business peoples and all. When they're trying to pay a tax, there will be a representative, like a relationship manager. They will come and approach you for related to that. So you have to respect him. Simply asking him to stand for few 3 hours, 4 hours. Then you say, I am very busy, occupied with my work. Come tomorrow. These types of attitude people have. So they are saying, please don't try to do this way. Try to treat him as a human. Try to respect him. Try to treat him in a dignified way. Now, under the Citizen Charter, what I have said, I respect the tax representatives. So under the Citizen Charter, you write on topic, who gives what in Citizen Charter? Who gives what in Citizen Charter? Who gives what in Citizen Charter? Okay. So put a question mark and under that you write all government organizations. All government organizations. Now you should know who and all can draft a Citizen Charter. First you begin with that, then you write who is going to give what in Citizen Charter. So all government organizations at the central, at different levels. You write at different levels. All government organization at different levels. Inside the bracket, you mentioned central government, state government, CG, SG, district administration, CG, SG, district administration, local municipal bodies, ORR, panchayat, local municipal bodies are panchayats, comma. You close the bracket, comma, who deal with the public. who deal with the public, who deal with the public, underline that, who deal with the public, who deal with the public, comma, who deal with the public, comma, as also, who deal with the public, comma, as also the various, as also the various public utilities, as also the various public utilities, as also the various public utilities and other organizations, various public utilities and other organizations which provide different kinds of services, as also various public utilities and other organizations which provide different kinds of services to the public, would be required, to work out, on formulating citizen charter, on formulating the citizen charter. Now who is going to give, under that only we have written this. So the organization, one who's dealing with public, will have to formulate the citizen charter based on point number 1, set standards for their services. Set standards, this and all should be present in citizen charter. Okay, set standards for their various services.
Ma'am, please repeat the point.
Set standards for various services. So all these organizations which we have written above, they are responsible for giving this to the citizen. So what they have to do, first point number 1, set standards for their various services. Put a hyphen. That means what? Set standards means what? The time frame in which the services will be provided. Like that you mentioned time frame, comma, response time. Okay. Responsible people, ... All this has to be mentioned. That is a standard which they have to follow. Second. Okay, second. Such standard should be prominently displayed. Very important that, okay, if you are knowing citizen charter means it's everything. Generally, citizen charter means what we know, it's not an enforceable document. But why it is put as a topic for you? If it is not an enforceable document, it is not necessary at all. But why it is kept as a topic, and every now and then you get a question from citizen charter. This is the important points which you have to keep in mind when you're writing a citizen charter. When they are asking why you need citizen charter, then what is the use or benefit you're getting from citizen charter? Instead of barely writing that it is going to promote transparency, accountability, you have to mention these points, that there should be a standard set under citizen charter. What type of standard? What are the business that is transacted by that particular organization? Who is going to provide that business to us? In which time frame and which days we will be getting it? Like this, we are going to get the accurate and timely information. So through this, the citizen is kept informed. So that is what it is mentioned here. So that all is implicit. You have to take it from inside. When you're reading it, you have to make it as points, small points. What you are going to get from this? The citizen will be kept informed about all the services and all the transaction which is happening in the public office. Through this, he can be more participatory in nature, and he also get benefits. He also get quality services from the organization. At least now the citizen is not thinking that he is someone who is going to request from the public office. He has every right and authority to ask to be provided, the services to be provided from the public office. This is the mentality. It's going to change the mentality of the people to approach the government. Okay. Then second one, such standards should be prominently displayed. Such standards, what have been framed, has to be displayed. No, simply you're framing it, keeping it somewhere. What is the use? You have to display it in the office. So that should be prominently displayed and published. Prominently displayed and published. Okay, displayed and published. Underline displayed and published. And be readily available to. And be readily available to. And be readily available to the public. And be readily available to the public. Readily available to the public on demand. to the public on demand, comma, in easily understandable local language, underline that, easily understandable. You cannot say that simply framing some citizen charter in even a single word as the common man cannot understand. He comes and stands there, everything is in Greek and Latin for him. What's the use? Only shunya, che, sat, or no is visible, and he sees what is this. So there is no usage in it. That is why they have mentioned it should be easily understandable and it has to be in a local language. That means it has to be understood by the common man who is present there. A farmer, if he enters a office, Grameen Bank, he has to understand what is written there. So that's why. Then next point, standards as displayed should be. Standards as displayed should be scrupulously adhered. Standards as displayed should be scrupulously adhered to the SCRUPULOUSLY. SCRUPULOUSLY. Scrupulously adhered. PULOUSLY. L-Y. Adhered. 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 To the official concerned, it should be followed by the officials. If you want to write in simple way, you write in simple way. Be adhered by the official. That's it. It should be followed by the concerned official. What you have framed, you have to follow it. The official concerned. It should be followed by the official concerned. It adhered to, it should be stick to and adhere to, and the official concern should be held responsible. And the official concern should be held responsible. Should be held responsible and answerable. Should be held responsible and answerable. Should be held responsible and answerable for ensuring such standards. Answerable for ensuring such standards. There is no law to punish him, but you can question him. If he is not doing his duty, the bank officer has to be there at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock only, no? The bank timing is 9, na? If he is still 10. Public dealings around 10. So, but he has to be there in the counter at 9, no? If he is not there at 9, you can ask him. I'm waiting here for 1 hour. Where you went? To marriage or somewhere? You are going for some function and coming late. We are sitting here to avail the services. You can question him, no? So now it is not like you wait for him like a god. They used to do, no, in the public office, especially in the bank, you see the people faces. They'll be waiting like as if they are going to see the darshan of God. When the counter lady will come, when the counter person will come, they will be waiting to like this to get deposited and withdraw the money. You feel that they are like God and manifestation of God. We don't want to speak against them. We don't want to question them, but now it's not the case. You can just ask them. You're not for here doing free service. You are getting paid. You're doing your duty. Some God's voice I hear. Somebody is calling me. Anything you want? So then written till that and held responsible and answerable for such standards. Okay. Then next line. If the services is not satisfactory, if the service is not satisfactory, if you are not satisfied with the service, or the standards are not adhered to, if services are not satisfactory or the standards are not adhered to, comma, without valid explanation, or justification, valid explanation or justification, comma, there should be a duly notified grievance redressal procedure. There should be a duly notified grievance redressal procedure. Underline that. Grievance redressal procedure indicating the clearly the response time. Indicating clearly the response time. That much is enough. Clearly the response time. Okay, response time. Indicating clearly the response time. Within which time they will solve your query. That also should be indicated. If you're going to complain about some person, within 5 days, they will rectify your problem. That also should be informed there. Then who gets what here? Who is going to give? Who gives what? Now who gets what? That is the next question. Who gets what? See why I made you write who gives what. Now you are going to write the challenges. After this, you are going to make the challenges related to citizen charter. What are the flaws with related to citizen charter? Okay. So the first point in who gets what, the common citizen would get. The common citizen would get the confidence. So get the confidence, underline that. Would get the confidence that the common citizen would get the confidence that he would be heard. Number point A in that, okay? The common citizen would get the confidence that point A, he would be heard by the man behind the counter. Man or woman, anyone you can mention. He would be heard by the man behind the counter. The common citizen is going to get confidence. Now, point number 1 through citizen charter. Okay, that he would be heard by the man behind the counter. Point number 2. He can expect. Who? The common citizen can expect and demand. Expect and demand. He can expect and demand courteous and efficient service. He can expect and demand courteous and efficient service. Demand efficient service. Third, the common citizen will be able to shed. Don't write every time common citizen. I ask you to write in the common way. Will be able to shed his apathy. Shed his apathy. APATHY. Common citizen will be able to shed his apathy, as also his passivity and fear. As also his passivity and fear. Also his passivity and fear. And also his passivity and fear. And be able to raise his voice. Passivity and fear and be able to raise his voice. So shed his apathy, as also his passivity and fear and be able to raise his voice against maladministration, against maladministration and if inefficiency. Raise his voice against maladministration and inefficiency. As also against various corrupt practices. Are you right? Inefficiency and corruption. That's it. Maladministration, inefficiency and corruption. Inefficiency and corruption. So now you write the challenges of citizen charter. And there is something called as citizen charter mark. Do you know that? Charter mark. This also we borrowed from UK only. Okay. So you make a note about charter mark and say that what is the use of charter mark? What is the advantages of having charter mark? Okay. Charter mark. Note that. Mark. From UK only we borrowed that also. So why we are having this? What is this concept of charter mark? That I want a idea from your side. Just make a note. So it's just simply to identify like how the citizen charter has been applied in various organizations. Now, based on that, they are also providing some what? Have you ever read G Files magazine? Anyone? I told you long back. Same way, here they are providing with certain awards. The charter mark. Assessing the quality of charter mark in various organizations, and then they are providing with awards. Right. So you just take care of that charter mark. Now, write the challenges of citizen charter. You have to tell. Yes. So far we have written what, who is going to give. From that only you take the challenges. A charter mark is something like here, there are 7 or 8 criteria will be there under this charter mark. Okay. Based on the charter, citizen charter, how the services are delivered to be the citizen. Based on that, how the citizen charter is formed, this charter mark will value that, how the organization is performing. Okay. With respect to the citizen charter and all. So based on that, the ranking will be given, provided to the organization, and you also will be provided for the performance. That's why I told about award. Anna, so that's why I may ask you to refer. It's more like an index. Not like an, it's totally and not an index, but it's more like that. Anna, to value. Instrument, it's like for instrumental conditioning. To improve the efficiency, we are bringing this charter mark. Every organization will have this charter mark. Every organization will be valued based on the criteria which are mentioned in this charter mark. Okay. So every organization will be provided a chart and they will value their efficiency based on that criteria which are mentioned in the chart. Okay. So there is no specific organization which is providing this. The administration will provide awards based on the performance of the organization, every public office. Okay. Yes, fine. Now, what are the challenges? Do you get any idea related to challenges? Crass ignorance, lack of awareness, right? Point by point, you are the one who are going to make it. So first you can write the lack of awareness among the public. Okay. Second, institutional flaws. Institutional flaws. The institution is not supporting the formation of citizen charter. Okay, most of the institution or organization are having incomplete citizen charter. Okay, there is no proper completion, incomplete citizen charter. As we have mentioned point by point, no, the steps, what and all should be there in the citizen charter? Yes, so far you have written no till now. Tell me. How to what to what? Which kind of services? Standards of service should be first formulated. Then it has to be displayed. But what happens here? They never formulate based on proper standards. Okay, these are the services to be provided to these people. When it will be provided? Timely manner, responsive manner. Who is responsible for that? There is always something which is lagging inside that. It is not complete and accurate. Secondly, even if they have formulated it, they are not trying to display it for the public's reference. There is also a flaw. Third, in many organizations, what they have noted, even if it is displayed, the people are not trying to adhere to. The public officers are not sticking to it because it is not an enforceable document. Nobody can question them. Even if the public questions, they simply casually leave it. Okay, you have come. I have also come. Let us solve this. I'll make your work done. You can leave. That's it. They don't care about the time the public has invested in it. They have waited for around 2 hours. They don't care about it. They are simply just rectifying the problem there and then leaving. So they don't want to correct their mistakes. Okay, so no adherence. And at last, we can also say there is no grievance redressal in many cases. So all these are lagging. Step by step in each and every organization, there is some flaws, institutional flaws you can mention. So next, no public participation. Actually, the citizens charter should be consensual approach. And already we have discussed this, I hope, in some classes. Where in good governance, when you're talking about good governance, there I wrote this point called consensus oriented or consensus approach. In that I have mentioned citizen charter is one such thing which was brought keeping this consensus oriented in mind. Why consensus? Because all those people who are getting involved in it, the customers, the providers, in between them are the activists who are acting on the people's interest. The NGOs has to participate while making a citizen charter because they only know that how a citizen expect what from the people, what from the organization, what he needs as a common man. Simply I can talk from one perspective, but as a student, I have to call you and ask you, what do you want? What do you require? In preparing UPSC, what are the hurdles you are facing? What are the hurdles you are facing? Come on. Time management. I am studying 24 hours a day. Even bathing, I prepared a separate stand. One time a student came, he was talking, I am not telling something, some stories and all. One time a student told that he prepared a separate stand in the bathroom. He used to put the book there, hanging. I was totally carried away by it. I told, Arey, why here? Barely I will stay inside the bathroom. I take 5 or 10 minutes maximum. Then I come out. You just simply stand there and 1 hour you will bath. Why you want that to be hanged from your head? And that type of new mechanisms and all they will devise when they become an UPSC student. So time management is a problem for you. So how many hours you are studying? Except the classes, So classes, how many hours are going for you? 5 hours. Total 11 hours you are studying, no? So that's how we are talking to the students, we are collecting the information. So what is the problem? So this is your side management, from our side, from the teachers, what you are expecting. That is the question which will be put forward. So previously what the students used to do, they go walk to the library, not these types of library. That and all, the library which has books. That is why you can see the difference in the mains exam. Mains exam itself, the marks will be that much high. All the people who are, who are scoring around 700 and all will not get into the service. So the score ranking is totally high. So the way they presented the answer, you would have seen each and every person would have different and innovative answers in them, not the same pattern. Why nowadays same pattern? Because we are relying on academies and teachers only. It's not wrong to rely on the teacher. You have a guidance, you have a framework. Then you have to work on your own also. You have to add up more points. That's why I always used to say that you see this, make up your own points. There is some vacant spaces I leave for you, where you have to create your own points. There comes a creative idea. But here nowadays, it's not like that. So what happened? The value itself is completely brought down of the civil service. So previously, everything they have to work on. Now, everything, there are people who come forward to you. Oh, no, don't study current affairs. We are here. We provide you current affairs classes. Map reading, we provide you classes. Then what and all classes you have? Budget, economic survey. So you have go classes for everything. As we say, 7-8 hours classes. Then at the end of the hour, how many hours you will have in your hand for studying? Barely 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. In that, some students will say, Madam, I am reading newspaper for 3 hours. Then I will say, you just forget today, this year, you're giving the service. You go for next year only. This year you cannot. Now, okay, we'll come to our classes. Where we left. So these are some of the challenges. Okay, so no participatory formation, no participation or no public participating in the formulation of the citizen charter. That is one such major flaw. Second is institutional flaws because of incomplete citizen charter, and then lack of awareness among the people also. People are not ready to participate while making a citizen charter, and people are not ready to stick to the citizen charter, are not ready to question the public authority for not sticking to the citizen charter. So these are some of the issues we are facing. Right. Then, so you can even write this: no formulation through consultation process. The word sentence you can use anyway. Not formulated through consultation process, or no public participation in formation. Okay. Even the service providers are not familiar with the charter. The organization is formulating on behalf of them. For them itself, it is not, so what is written there in the citizen charter, why they have written this, why they have put this person for that service, this type of confusions are there. Okay, so you can mention that also, confusions among the service providers with related to the charter. Okay. Yes, like this, we can see a lot of flaws in the citizen charter. This much is enough. Then we'll go to the next topic. So this is about the citizen charter. Okay, this is about the citizen charter. So related to charter mark, if you want, you can write I don't know whether you're going to work on it. Please mention the charter mark, put one heading, charter mark, put that topics for the charter mark. Rest you work on it. Charter mark is something, a criteria which we allot. So to provide award to the public organization, for that we are having certain criteria. That's called charter mark. So what are those 9 criteria under charter mark? Number 1, performance standard. Charter mark has 9 criteria. No, there are 9 criteria under charter mark. Charter mark, I wrote the spelling already for you. So what are those 9 criteria? First, performance standard, how the organization is performing. So performance standard. Second, information and openness. Information and openness. Performance standard. Second, information and openness. Third, choice and consultation. Okay. Fourth, courtesy and helpfulness. Fifth, putting things right. Then next, value for money. Putting things right, value for money. Then user satisfaction. Value for money, user satisfaction. User satisfaction. How well you're satisfied with their service. Improvement in service quality. More or less like a private organization, you should provide these to the public. That is why they have brought charter mark. Okay. Improvement in service quality. Last, innovation. Done. So these are some of the criteria with which the organization will be evaluated. Innovation. So more or less all the criteria is similar to the citizen charter, which you have to provide here. That's why this name itself is called charter mark. And who will evaluate based on this criteria? There will be an independent group of people who also belong to the same department, the same public service. And there they are called as jurists. They will evaluate and they will provide our award to the organization who is performing best. Okay. So these are called charter marks criteria. Done. Now, what is code of ethics and code of conduct? You want 5 minutes break? No need? No? Sure. 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes, not like yesterday. Huh? You want break or not? Yeah. Yes, go on. Where we have written that? Standards. Set standards for various services. Yeah, you bring that line. You bring the paragraph. You're asking from middle. It should be prominently displayed to the public. That means what are the standards you have formulated? In what format? That depends on the organization. It is like a paper. You are already written in the citizen charter. You have not seen any citizen charter. They are more or like, it's like an instruction given to the people. You go to a bank, you would have seen a paper in front of you. Do's and don'ts they will give. In that also they will give the vision statement, mission statement. Along with that, it will come. They will say these are the officers who are responsible. May help you desk. This person is there. He will help you. Like that, everything will be given in one paper. Have you seen that? That is called citizen charter. Okay, it will be in that format only. So within 1 day or 2 days, we'll be complete. Tomorrow we'll complete the chapters completely. Then there is some philosophical part remaining. So I don't know how many of you are going to come, because as weather is also getting deteriorated, and classes also in the end, last class will be on Wednesday. I hope so. Today is Monday, no? Yeah, your bad time. I'll be the one who will be handling environment also. I asked for some gap. I asked to put some other subject, because continuously I also feel fed up. Then come and continuously taking with people, engaging with people. Then I told, and even weather is very bad. Then they said, no, madam, please continue with the environment. What to do? And I said, okay, because my interview session is going on. So I thought I'll complete the interview, then I'll engage with you people. Now I have shifted the interview session to the evening because in the morning I cannot do it. I have to come here. Afternoon I will be engaging with them. I would promote choices because see, when you are there, when an organization is going to tell what are the services it is going to provide, and you go to a bank, public bank also provide you opening of an account. Okay, you can open a savings account. Post office also provide you opening of savings account. It has to be there in the post office. When you enter the post office, it will be there in the citizen charter. They also say that they are going to provide a savings account. Now, the public bank provide how much interest for you for savings account? Around 2.5% or 3% maximum. But a post office can provide around 4.5% interest rate for your amount which you hold in the savings account. So which you will choose? Choice is here. Previously, it was not there. Previously, you don't have any choices. Even if you had, you don't know what you're having choice or not. Wherever it is possible, you have to provide choices. That is why we have mentioned choice. It promotes choice. Or if a choice is there, it makes it known to the people, known to the public. That way you can see. Only few we know, many are there. In public office, many offices, many public organizations are bringing in more services to the people. We are not aware about that services at all. And normally you just, whenever you have a free time, you walk to a public office. You just have a word with the public officer there. No, I'm saying for the betterment of you, not for generally. For your interview, it will help. You just go and talk, you have a word with them, then you will understand what are the things which are services which is going on inside the particular public office. You will come to know. Then you can make, more idea you can get related to that office, the holding of the public office. You go to generally a registration office. What are the registration they will be doing? You doesn't know, no. You know that is a registration office. Mostly, you know, for land registration, marriage registration, you can go. What are the other services they are providing? They can also provide other services. You know or not? So when you go and interact with these people, when you visit that office only, you'll come to know. Okay. This is something called interview. In interview, they are not going to check what you have learned from the theoretical way, learned in the theoretical way from the book and all. What you have done, what you have, how you have viewed the society, what idea you have got about public service. These types of questions only will come to you. So for that, I'm telling you, just walk in, find out nearby your accommodation. If there is any public office, you just walk inside. Don't feel hesitant. How can I walk inside? We are feeling hesitant to go window shopping. No, we simply walk in any shop, just go and say, I don't like it. And you're coming out, say no. Same way you can go to a public office. I don't want now, I'll come later. Are you mentioning conclusion, introduction and all in your question? No. Okay. See, any question when you're trying to take, it doesn't matter whether it's an introduction or conclusion. Why they are mentioning about introduction or conclusion is that the question has to have a connectivity with your answer. That is why we are bringing conclusion and introduction. That is the meaning. That's why we are having that. So either you begin the question by connecting it, or you end the question by connecting it. If you are ending the question by connecting it, something called as conclusion. Or if you're beginning the question by doing it, that's something called as introduction. That's enough. You need not give 2 times. In the introduction part also, you say that, see, so the Immanuel Kanta said this, that. In the last part also, you don't bring the same and then put it in that manner. But sometimes the conclusion differs. In certain cases, like when you're trying to suggest measures, that time you have to introduce properly, you have to end it properly. You have to say, by introducing the above measures inside that particular in the society, we can bring in and so on, so. Like that you have tried. Okay. Critically, what you will do? A conclusion may be different because what is meant by critical evaluation? You have to discuss both, no? The positive and the negative has to be put in forward. And then what you have to do, you have to take a stand. That way, that's why these types of questions have a strong conclusion. Their conclusion is must. Without conclusion, the question does not end. But in some cases, conclusion is not necessary. For that, you can simply skip it off. And some cases you can have a handy conclusion, like suggesting some measures and all, you can bring in some handy conclusions. Anna, so like that, it's up to you. So don't write something which is, not in connectivity with the question word at all. The question word demands something for you, as he is asking about critically evaluation, critically examine we have. That means you have to provide with examples. If it is coming with critically examines or critically evaluate, when you are trying to take a standpoint, you have to bring example inside. If it is something like examine, analyze, evaluate, then what you have to do? You have to evaluate that statement. You have to see you are right, as you are evaluating the particular point in case study, you have to take that point, you have to analyze the merits and demerits of the point, then you have to come to a conclusion. But if it is a critically evaluate or critically examine, then you have to provide with examples. I hope there is a session for, question answer session. Have that or not? No. Maybe. Sometimes I don't know who is going to do for you. Some teachers who are also dealing with newspaper reading and all, they will try to tell you how these question words has to be focused in exams. You have around 21 question words. Know that or not? Define, discuss, elaborate, examine. Like this, we have some 22 words. UPSC is always focused on to. In UPSC, illustrate is often you see this word illustrate. Okay. Explain with examples or illustration. These are two important words, or sometimes they write discuss. Elucidate. These words also you will find. Just it's not something which is connected with your synonym. Don't mistake it in that way. You write, you type elucidate. Okay, elucidate means this is the meaning. No, not like that. In question way, you have to be in different manner that your teacher will teach you. Okay. Discuss means what you have to do. Yes. Anyone having that idea? How you will write a discuss question? At 2 points.
It is also, but it is also.
See, if you are going to discuss some issues, what you're doing, what is done in the newspaper, they're discussing the issues. They are telling about the viewpoint of that issue. So they are giving some statement. You have to discuss about that statement. That means you have to write what are the things which is connected to that statement. Okay. Discussing about that, expressing their views. So what are those points which are related to that statement? You have to bring it there. Okay. So see, this is how this has happened. Yes. And that another point also expressing. And it should not be against. It is not we are mentioning about against. The two people, how they are going to express their views related. That means how we are going to express their views related to that statement. Okay. It's not simply as against. Yeah, that way. See, if I'm saying, if there is a statement that how to approach an UPSC, that's a question put forward you. Now two people are going to sit here. They are going to talk about how you have to approach an UPSC. See, that means I will say you have to approach in this way. Another person cannot say don't write UPSC. UPSC is totally a foolish exam. You cannot say like that, no. So in discussion, both has to be in the positive way. They have to express their opinion. That is discuss. So if you, somebody has asked me about rasam, sambar and all, you are invited to my home. Please come home. I cannot carry here. Yeah, all the girl students and all the boy students, you can come because anyhow, I invited even the Karol Bagh students. They are very occupied with work, busy, sticking to studies. You come home one day, especially when you have no classes here. Then we can party. Don't expect me in that way. So I'll try to make something like I prepare non-veg. I don't eat non-veg, but my husband consumes. So I prepare it. Don't worry, because I prepare it in a nice way. That's why he's eating. Otherwise, he will not eat. So that I know how to prepare and all. Since he is a complete non-vegger. No, complete non-vegger and complete vegger. Complete veg, complete vegetarian, complete non-vegetarian. He is complete non-vegetarian. So where we left, we have done the citizen charter, no? Now, code of ethics and code of conduct. We know something about code of conduct. Already we have written what is meant by code of conduct and all. Here we have only conduct, code of conduct, that we have a code. Okay. In India, we have a code for conduct principles. How a civil servant has to behave. We have that. It is codified already. We have rules and regulations for that. But we don't have a proper rules related to ethical principles. So that what we have done later in 2000, around 2014, this ethical principle started strengthening inside the conduct rules. So ethics was brought as a part of code of conduct. So if you are trying to write about code of ethics and code of conduct, when you're writing about our country, both are totally different. Code of ethics is something which is related to ethical principles codified inside, which is defined inside the administration for the purpose of administration. But code of conduct is something how a person has to behave related to rules and regulations. That is code of conduct. In India, we don't have a separate code of ethics and code of conduct. We have both inside one. In the form of code of conduct, we do have supporting the ethical principles also. After 2014, you have to mention that previously it was not given much importance. As 1991, we started talking about good governance, and in the 21st century, we are talking about ethical governance. And in this ethical governance, we are supporting the code of ethics as a part of code of conduct, but there is no separate code of ethics so far. Okay. So you write a tabular column only, that is more than sufficient for you. This will help you to write any answer which comes in this part of code of ethics and code of conduct. Put code of ethics one side, code of conduct. Code of ethics one side and code of conduct on the other side. Code of ethics and code of conduct. Under code of ethics, you write, under code of ethics, it's a standard. Under code of ethics, you write, it's a standard of values or morals. It's a standard of values or morals. It's a standard of values or morals by which an organization, it is a standard of values or morals by which an organization makes decisions about what is right or wrong in specific situations. In which an organization makes decision about what is right or wrong in specific situation. With related to administration also same only. Administration means organization. Organization, that is administration, when it makes right decision or wrong decision with related to certain problems. Then code of conduct, under code of conduct, it is a set of rules and regulation. It's a set of rules and regulations that guides, it's a set of rules and regulations that guides a person's behavior. It's a set of rules and regulations that guides a person to exhibit appropriate behavior, in holding that position, Okay. Person to exhibit appropriate behavior in holding that position. Okay. Then under code of ethics, that's it. First point over for both. So we have defined what is meant by code of conduct and code of ethics in the first point. Okay. So suppose they are asking in separately, what is meant by code of ethics, question mark. Then you can take the first point and write it's a standard of ... Or they are asking to differentiate between code of conduct and code of ethics. Then also you can mention this point there. Okay. Then second point under code of ethics, it says how decisions are made. Under code of ethics, it says how decisions are made. It says how decisions are made or on what standard. It says how decisions are made, question mark, or on what standard the decisions are to be made. Okay, are to be made. So under code of conduct, it dictates It dictates how employee must act. It dictates how employee must act or behave. It dictates how employee must act or behave. Act or behave. Okay. Then here under code of ethics, right? It lay focus on values. Lay focus on values. Lay focus on values. Main thing, it will focus on values, value systems which you hold. But in code of conduct, you can write it lays focus on rules and compliance. Rules and compliance associated with. Rules and compliance associated with. It focus on rules and compliance associated with it. Associated with it. Okay. Associated with it. So under code of ethics, you write it is wide ranging and non-specific. The code of ethics is wide ranging and non-specific. It is wide ranging and non-specific. That is why we are not able to formulate a code of ethics. Code of ethics is something abstract conception like, okay, so it's wide ranging. We cannot say that every time it will be the right thing to do. In some situation it will be right, some situation it will be wrong. But rules are not like that. Huh? So wide ranging and non-specific, have you written that? Then under the code of conduct, it provides fairly a clear set of expectation. It provides fairly a clear set of expectations about which actions are required. It provides fairly a clear set of expectations about which actions are required, comma, acceptable, about which actions are required, comma, acceptable, or prohibited, Okay, then you write one important small paragraph. In administration, in Indian administration, you write like that. In Indian administration, the code of conduct itself, in Indian administration, the code of conduct itself is the practical application of. In Indian administration, the code of conduct itself is the practical application of. Code of ethics. Practical application of code of ethics. Application of code of ethics. Comma, as such. The code of conduct, COC, you write, code of conduct are derived from. As such, the code of conduct are derived from. Ethical values. Code of conduct are derived from ethical values. And are used in an attempt to encourage. Specific forms of behavior. Specific forms of behavior by employees. The next topic is work culture. So before going into work culture, we will write a case. And this will be the last case study. So sexual harassment cases will appear now and then. Almost 3 times already it came. And 2 times as a case study itself, 1 time as a question, theoretical question. They have asked what are the measures you will suggest for sexual harassment related cases at workplaces. That's how the question was formed. Now we will take down a case study. We will discuss here. We'll write the answers today for this case, which is related to sexual harassment. Okay. Then we will move to the work culture. Right. So what is meant by code of conduct and code of ethics? See, what the people will do. 1 time they asked what is difference between code of conduct and code of ethics. That's what they have asked. Then you can easily write the differences between code of conduct and code of ethics. Code of ethics is wide ranging, but code of conduct is not like that. It's a specific guideline which we receive. There is no confusions or dilemma with related to the officer when he is trying to follow a code of conduct. But in code of ethics, we cannot derive rules or regulations because it's wide ranging in principle. And sometimes some may be right for a person and sometimes it may not be right. So we don't know how to bring a rules or regulations. We cannot simply say the officer has to be always abide by or always stick to honesty. Sometimes it is not the case, and it varies from the situation. So that's why it is very hard to formulate a code of ethics. In spite what we are trying to do now in India, especially with related to administration, we are trying to bring this code of ethics inside the code of conduct as the part of code of conduct itself. So that you have to keep in mind. You cannot simply say that we have neglected the code of ethics in India. We have never done it. We have already started inducting inside the code of conduct to be followed by the officer. So previously we only demanded a officer how he has to behave, as per the constitutional morality. But now we are going further than that, and then we are saying we have to promote ethical principles also. We have to stick to values, democratic values. Like this, we have started talking. From 2014, we have started focusing on the ethical principles also. Okay, but there is no separate code of ethics. That you have to be clear, right? Now, take down the question. Priya was posted as Priya was posted as a IPS officer in IPS officer. Priya was posted as an IPS officer. Priya was posted as an IPS officer in a district in Tamil Nadu. Or you just write in a district. That's more than enough. Don't mention the this issue happened in Tamil Nadu. So when I'm formulating this case, I mentioned that state. Need not write a state. She was given a duty for security check. She was given a duty for security check. For CM's visit to CM, Chief Minister, no. So I mentioned CM only. CM's visit to some districts. She was given duty for security check for CM's visit to some districts in the state. Full stop. Some districts in the state, full stop. In order to full stop and continue. In order to perform the duty, she was traveling in the government vehicle. In order to perform the duty, she was traveling in the government vehicle. Along with special DGP. DGP means what? Director General of Police. DGP of Police, law and order. Mention that inside the bracket, law and order. DGP, law and order, Mr. Chandran. Okay, DGP, law and order, Chandran, who was also in duty. Full stop. What is given in the first paragraph? That Priya is an IPS officer. She herself is an officer. She was traveling to perform a duty. She was on duty along with another officer, a DGP of law and order. So they were traveling by a vehicle in order to make security check. Okay, next paragraph. During this travel, the DGP behaved inappropriately with her. During this travel, the DGP behaved inappropriately with her in the vehicle. On duty. So on duty, full stop. With her in the vehicle on duty, full stop. Next sentence, she refused his advancement. And immediately traveled back and immediately traveled back to headquarters, to the state headquarters. Immediately traveled back to the state headquarters to file the complaint against Chandran. To file the complaint against Chandran. Full stop. But on her way back, she was dissuaded, DIS, dissuaded by, but on her way back, she was dissuaded by some of her fellow officers, full stop. She was warned, fellow officers, full stop. She was warned, 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 comma, coerced, 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 forced, coerced, and even stopped, by the police officials, on, okay, the police officials on her way to file the complaint, full stop. Now write the questions. What are the ethical issues involved in the above case? What are the ethical issues involved in the above case? What are the options before Priya? Second question, what are the options before Priya? Right, in continuation, okay. So first question, put a question mark. What are the ethical issues involved in the case? Question mark. What are the options before Priya? Question mark. What are the options before Priya? Question mark. How can menace like this be tackled? How can menace like this be tackled? How can menace like this be tackled? Okay. So you see, these are the three questions. What are the ethical issues involved in the above case? So what will be the options before Priya? Let us first complete the question. What are the options before Priya? Third, what is the question? How the menace like this be tackled means they are asking for long-term measures. They are asking you to suggest some measures, how we can improve the workplace. How can you improve the, stop the sexual harassment like this? Okay. So what is the case about? The case is about sexual harassment at workplace. Anna, so how women can tackle this? What are the steps she has to take? What are the steps the organization has to take? What are the long-term measures you're going to provide? So what are the ethical issues involved in the above case? Missing? Misuse of power and authority. Very good. So write one by one. Anna, we are going to talk, discuss casually only. So then and there you can write the points. Misuse of power and authority, that is abuse of power. Anna. Misfeasance. You can also give a word like misfeasance. Or we can also say this as maladministration or malfeasance. These two words you can use. Any other? The lawbreaker itself is becoming, so the law protector is becoming a lawbreaker, Anna, and setting up a bad example to the people. So lawbreaker becoming a, law protector becoming a lawbreaker, and now they are setting up a bad example to the public. Setting up a bad example to the public, thereby destroying the trust, destroying or disruption, any word you can use, disruption, disrupting the trust the people having on the office. Okay, so this is setting a bad example, no? So that point is must. The first one you have mentioned about the abuse of power and authority. Then you write. Have you done this? Over. And next, third point you write. Work environment. It brings a toxic work environment. It brings a toxic work environment and affects the work culture. It brings a toxic work environment. Toxic or hostile, any word you can use, okay? Toxic work environment affects the work culture. And affects the work culture. Then what are the other thing you can mention? The unfair treatment to women, you can mention like that. Unfair treatment to women or discrimination against women is happening in the form of sexual abuse. So unfair treatment or discrimination. This is also a form of discrimination only. Men having that mentality, a woman comes out of the home. She is saying that I am everyone's property. So this type of mentality man is having. No, if a woman smile, then that means she is ready. She is saying okay to everything. Okay, fine. And if a woman is stepping out of the house, they say women's home is at house. Why are you coming out? That means you want to be watched by all people. So you are like a property. This type of mentality men are having, and they are not coming away from that mentality. No far. So far they are in the same mentality only, except a few who are the way they were brought up. The brought up is totally different. The workplace discrimination is happening related to women. Unfair treatment to women. Disrespecting the women. All these words you can mention. Disrespecting. It reveals the act of police misconduct. Police itself is behaving in a different way to the people. The one who has to protect the public is behaving or expressing misconduct in the public. It also affects the self-esteem of women. You can mention self-esteem. Self-esteem of women. It leads to. Next, you can also write it leads to lot of psychological disturbances. So a woman who is facing harassment in the workplace, she is not free. She is not with free mind to work. From job pressure is one side. Harassment from the person who is there, who an employer or a co-worker is harassing her in one place. So this type of mentality, women cannot work freely. So psychological disturbances like trauma, anxiety, what I'll do in the future if this is happening. So these types of mentality is not making her to work freely. Right? Done. Then now next question, what are the options before Priya? What Priya can do? Now Priya is an officer. Priya is faced with this. This is a case which actually happened. Especially in Tamil Nadu only this happened. When traveling in vehicle, this person became misappropriately with her. You would have seen that he is the topmost officer, DGP of law and order. He became, so then you see one case came out. I don't know, before promoting to this position, how he would have behaved with all the ladies in that office. Now, the young lady who has come as an IPS officer has been harassed by this person. Actually, this person has previously also harassed a lot of women, but they are not ready to speak out because they came from a humble background. This lady is not like that. She has a very proper power backup from the PMO office itself. She immediately called the PMO office. He is DGP. You would have seen that in that a lot of police officials, the inspectors, all these people came forward, the sub-inspector, all the people tried to stop her in registering complaint. She said she made a call to PMO office. From PMO office, call came back. They told that how dare you behave with the women lady officer like this way? They put this person in the compulsory waiting list. So what are the options before Priya? Priya has to register a complaint. Put number 1. Complaint has to be registered. If a case study is coming in this way related to sexual harassment, you cannot simply say that go and convince the person, persuade the person, give him second chance. A warning. No such nonsense. Okay. You have to register a complaint. First, register a complaint. FIR has to be registered. So FIR has to be registered by Priya. Second. Now the complaint has to be after she has done the registered the complaint. Now, what are the other options which follows the complaint? What happened? Now the inquiry committee will be set up. Okay, so you just write after the complaint, the inquiry committee will be set up. The inquiry committee has to be set up by the administration, by the office itself. They have to set up the inquiry committee in order to check the complaint. No, if she gives the complaint, they have to check the that complaint is whether it's honestly given or it's something she has come up with. No, there is any falsification of the complaint and all. So that has to be inquired. So inquiry committee has to be set up. The inquiry committee will be set up based on the complaint. She has to ensure that the inquiry committee is set up and it is to be followed in a proper way, that the proper mechanism is taking place. Third, she can also approach the Human Rights Commission, HR, and give report related to the cases. Give report related to the cases. Commission, HR commission. Human Reports Commission. HR, Human Resource Commission. Then she can make sure that they also act as a pressure group in this. They have to keep a watch whether particularly this mechanisms are followed, what they will follow, what are the mechanisms they will follow inside. If something has happened inside the administration, I'm not talking about private administration, I'm talking about our public administration. If some issue has happened, you are complaining, a FIR is registered. Sometimes what happens, the women will not go directly and register a FIR. They will go and complain inside the organization, public organization. Then what happened? The public organization, the employer should file a FIR with respect to the particular person who is harassing that woman. It doesn't mean that immediately if the person is coming and talking something, hi, and then smiling, and the women run to there and file a FIR. It is not like that. No. How dare you smile at me and you say hi to me? So you cannot file a complaint like that. That means this person has gone to an extreme level. He has advanced to an extreme level that this woman cannot tolerate his attitude or his activity around her. So then only she would have approached the organization. So organization has to immediately ask her that FIR has to be registered. Yes, if so, then they have to register the FIR. Then they have to set up internal complaints committee has to be there. Based on that, they have to check. They have to receive the complaint from her. And then they have to check the complaint about the credibility of the complaint. Then third, what has to be done? They have to allot an internal inquiry committee. The administration, the public organization would set up an internal inquiry committee. The committee will inquire. In meantime, this person has to be put in a compulsory waiting list. Know what is compulsory waiting list? This DGP was put in the compulsory waiting list only. You can wear your uniform. You can go to the office. Okay, what you will do? You will go and sit there. No work for you. They will ask you to wait. You wear the uniform. You don't have power. What is the use? You are wearing the uniform? That is actually you are insulting the person. You are insulting the person who is wearing the uniform. You wear the uniform. You sit. You don't have any job to do. We will tell you what you have to do. You sit there and wait. That is called compulsory waiting. This was done in this case person. Then they will try to suspend. After that, what happens? Suspension will happen. Not removal and all. No dismissal has so far happened for these cases. They will suspend the person. Then they will try to post him in some other job. Not in the same law and order and all. Like that it has happened. So now what are the long-term measures? Okay, we are registered an FIR. How they will inquire under what section? 354 or something, I think, no? Now when the newspaper it is coming, please take care of these types of sensitive issues. No, that IPC section you have to be sure. I think it is around 354, outraging the modesty of women. And if a person is trying to outrage the modesty of women, you will be booked under section 354. Okay. And there is some act which came out in 2013 called as POSH Act, POSH, not that POSH, POSH. What is this act meant by? It is prevention of women at sexual harassment of women at workplaces. Prevention and redressal mechanisms, which they provide under this act, which came in 2013. This is shortly called as POSH Act. How this act came out? What is the incident behind it? Who took the initiative for formulating this act? So long back, around 1996, I hope so, around this period, I hope you would have known about the Banwari Devi case. Banwari Devi. Yes, she's, I don't know the place and all. This woman is a cook in an Anganwadi center. Okay. So what she did, she stopped the child marriage in the particular area. I told you already when we are discussing a child marriage issue, I told Anganwadi centers can do this. She went and gave information to the police officials. She kept watch of them. She gave information. Now the people came to know who has informed. What is happening in the village? Who has informed it? Then they told that this lady has informed, Banwari Devi. So what they did, they raped her in front of her husband only. The people of the village, the men of that village, I already told how this Ka Panchayat would behave. They went to the workplace, they raped her in front of her husband at work, when she was at work. So that initiative was taken into Supreme Court. Supreme Court, this was registered. A PAL was registered on this case, and that was called Vishaka, came out as Vishaka guidelines, Vishaka case. It went into Supreme Court in this manner. Then Supreme Court took the issue into consideration. So it said that how come, how darely these people will come to a workplace and will rape a woman? So what type of guidelines we are having, what type of safety mechanisms we are having, what type of protective mechanisms we are having for women at workplace in our country. So then there should be some guidelines for that. They formulated, they came up with some guidelines, how this has to be handled. If a woman is facing a harassment in a workplace. That came out later as an act in 2013 as an act in the name of, in 1996, it came as a Vishaka guidelines, and 2013, this guidelines has taken as an act, the form of act in 2013. Okay, now you write the long-term measures. That is very important. So here after any sexual harassment cases, they are asking, this has to be present there. Okay, so as per that law only, we are having all these steps. The internal complaints committee has to be there. So FIR has to be registered. All these are as a part of the act. Okay, now first one, draft new or review existing POSH act. So we are thinking that act is not sufficient enough to address the sexual harassment cases. Point number one, draft new or review the existing POSH act. POSH, POSH act, the existing POSH act. So write the act if you want the full form of the act. Full form of the act, you write prevention of sexual harassment. Prevention of sexual harassment at workplace. Sexual harassment of women at workplace. I think nowadays women has to be removed and it has to be simply there sexual harassment at workplace, no? Because men are also not having safety in workplaces. Men is also not having equal safety. So prevention of sexual harassment at workplace of women at workplace. This is that act which came in 2013. Or you put a slash and write sexual harassment of women at workplace. Sexual harassment of women at workplace. Sexual harassment of women at workplace. Inside bracket prevention. Sexual harassment of women at workplace prevention. Prohibition. Prevention, prohibition and redressal. Act 2013. Sexual harassment of women at workplace prevention, prohibition and redressal. Act 2013. Okay. 2013. Yes. You now write the long-term measures. Second point. So this is the first point. You have to draft the new act or review the previously existing POSH act. Okay. Second point, employer sensitization session. Employer sensitization session. In some cases, employer will not be the harasser, but employer don't have sensitivity towards this issue. No, we don't think that it simply consider, okay, this is some issue, settle it. That's it. You don't give much care to it. So employer sensitization session has to be done. Employer sensitization session should be held. Employer sensitization session should be held. That we are trying to sensitize the employer. How he has to behave if such a case has been registered in his organization. Okay. Then third, internal committee capacity building, internal committee. Okay, internal committee capacity building. This internal committee, no, underline that. This internal committee is a part of that act, POSH act. Already said that there should be an internal committee has to be formed by the employer. Employer has to have an internal committee. That you I hope somebody has worked also. In your organization, you have such a committee. There will be some members from that organization only who will be the part of that committee. We are trying to bring the outsiders from also to be a part of this committee, but not so. So far, only within the organization only they will be in the internal committee. They will receive complaints like this. So if the women is facing some problems, they will go and approach this committee only. So this is called internal committee. Yes, next one. Internal committee should be capacity building. Put a hyphen. What type of capacity building? Emotional quotient has to be developed in them. They should know how to handle the emotions. How to handle the women who is coming with emotions. That is very important. So emotional quotient, training them in emotional quotient. giving adversity quotient and emotional quotient training to these people. Okay. Next point. Orientation session by IC members, internal committee. IC means internal committee. Orientation sessions by internal committee members. Okay, that is IC members, right? Like IC members. Orientation committees by IC members. Then provide experienced external members. Provide experienced external members for IC. Experienced external members for IC. Then next one. Conduct inquiry or set up inquiry committee. Conduct inquiry or set up inquiry committee in case of any sexual harassment. Conduct inquiry or set up inquiry committee. Conduct inquiry or set up inquiry committee in case of any sexual harassment complaint. In case of any sexual harassment complaint. Conduct inquiry or set up inquiry committee in case of any sexual harassment complaint. Okay. Then next point, awareness to employees. Awareness to employees. And now you have to provide awareness. Unless until they doesn't know. As you said, there is an inquiry committee in your office. How many of you know that inquiry committee was there? There is no awareness, then they would have not known. Everyone should know. So through mail or something, they would have circulated it, no? You have to sign also. There is a policy. Good. So that this organization has followed a proper way in doing it. So what that and all we are writing in the measures only. So write that after the awareness of employees, psychological counseling sessions. Psychological counseling sessions to reduce the mental trauma. Psychological counseling sessions. The employer itself has to provide that. Okay. Psychological counseling session to reduce the mental trauma. The ninth one. Annual report of post compliance. Annual report of post compliance. So every year the report has to be generated related to the Post Act. Annual report of post compliance. Next, 10th. So inform the employees zero tolerance. Inform the employees about the zero tolerance towards harassment. Zero tolerance towards harassment. And disciplinary actions would be taken if involved. And disciplinary actions would be taken if involved. And next point, make anti-harassment policy. Make anti-harassment policy. Okay, make anti-harassment policies and ensure all employees to sign it up. And ensure all employees to sign that. Okay, so make anti-harassment policies and ensure that all employees to sign up. Done? Yes. That's it. So you can also add some more points in this case. Now the last topic is work culture. So we'll discuss about work culture. What is work culture? Last time. That's it. Over, huh? That over. Have you seen the syllabus? Unit 3. 5. Thinkers. Philosophical part is remaining. That I told I'll be taking. So after this overs, because I told I'll forward us notes, but you demanded that you need some classes related to it. That Plato, Socrates, what these people are talking, because you read it, it is very elaborate. I'll make it as a formula, I'll give it here. So some idea, when you're writing, you can insert it then and there. When you're, instead of simply writing that how you have to be, how this has to be. You can say that these people have said these things. These are the theories which they have derived and give it to us. And it's over. Topics are over. Have you checked? Yes, 7th chapter. We have done 60 completely. We have completed. And our next week you will have exam starting this. How was a paper? Test, class test paper. I'm asking. As if a UPSC exam is over. Is no. Which are the chapters I have taken the question? Only attitude and emotional intelligence I have taken the questions for you. 3rd unit, 6th unit, 7th unit will be in your next exam. I'll combine all those units. I'll make questions for you. Same. I'll give 6 questions. You can choose 4 questions. You can write it. Anna, so how was the question? Did you feel it easy? After seeing the question, my sir was scolding me. You are giving like an UPSC exam. You are asking them to write.
Ma'am, 5th and 6th questions. Other than 1 and 3.
I made 5th and 6th question is to be very simple. Anna, because it has to be direct question. 5th and 6th.
Philosophical kind of 2 and 4.
You can understand, no? You have you understood it? Medium, simple, medium, and hard. It was like that, something which is a bit hard to interpret it. Nowadays, the questions are in that pattern. That's why I want to make you to expose to that type of question that I gave it. Fine. So if you don't, what is the first question? I don't remember it. Good. What was the question about? Perception of a persuasive message is not a passive process. Okay. So what they're talking about, the receiver is as active in the receiving process as in the source in the transmitting process. The attitude and beliefs of the receiver mediate the way in which the message will be received and responded to. Do you agree with this? Justify. So what hard you find in this question?
Attitude and someone restrict to persuasion.
It's a part of. This is a part. But what they are talking here is about the receiver's end. You know, we are always seeing there was 2 approaches in persuasion. Do you remember that when we are talking about the 2 way, one is traditional way and another one is the advanced way. That's a cognitive approach which we give. So when we are trying to take the cognitive approaches in attitude, in transmitting, in changing the person's attitude, in persuasion especially, we always focus on the receiver's end also, not the one who is sending. It's important that the receiver has to receive it in the proper way, so that we are considering the way we are taking the receiver's end. That is the question. We are talking about not a passive process. Persuasion is not a passive process. Simply I send some message to you. I just leave the place. It's not something like that. Persuasion means I should make sure that I have to convince you. I have to change your attitudes and beliefs, and such a way the message has to be delivered. So what you will write for this? Do you agree with this view? Yes. You have to say, yes, I agree. Because you cannot say, I do not agree. No, I just deliver the message that's my duty is over. I will go. It's not like that. Persuasion means how will you persuade the people? You have to completely take care of the receiver's end also. Yes. Then how will you justify it? Then you can bring some examples here, like the approaches which we have discussed in the cognitive approach. You can bring some theories. As you know, this person has already said that, we simply cannot deliver the message only based on the receiver's age group or receiver's way of receiving it. But we have to think from the receiver's perspective. Then we have to alter the message accordingly and deliver the same message to him in such a way that his attitudes, beliefs, everything get changed. For that, you have to you can connect with real life example also. You can give some examples here. You have to justify your stand. That's it. Yes, that's the right thing. People to accept it. Yeah, you can write that. Yes, that's why I'm saying no. How you are first introducing the policy, how people react to it. Then you cannot simply say, okay, people is not accepting. I'm not going to implement this policy and walk away. It's not your duty. What's your duty? Your duty is to implement the policy. Your duty is to vacate the people. Your duty is to rehabilitate the people. So what you have to do, you have to make them accept. Then how you will try to do it? So from the receiver's end, you have to think. Then you are going to change a bit. You're going to convince them. That's how you have to say, yes, persuasion is simply a wholesome process. It's not simply delivering a message.
For example, I can, anyway, you can write in with respect to the policy, you can write with respect to the implementation of the schemes, all those things. You can bring some examples here and connect it. Okay, even in your real life, you would have faced some issues like this. You would have taken some effort, put some effort to convince your little brother or little sister in doing something. That also you can bring here. Anything. Okay. Yes. So that's general question. It's not related to a civil servant. So you need not always take a civil servant example. That is one way you are expressing the example. Any way you can express this. Done. This is the very toughest question you felt. Third question. What was there in the third question? Love and compassion. Why it's complicated? So what is the question about? Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Compassion is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. I am not saying this. Dalai Lama has said it. I put it here. What does the above quotation mean to you in the context of present day civil service? You have to connect compassion, love, empathy, all this with the civil service. That's it. Why you need it in the present day civil service? Then you have to say why you need it. Previously, then we drew a diagram. Do you remember that 3 holes, 3 circles? Before independence, how it was. Then after independence, now it is a time that a civil servant is trying to communicate. It's trying to interact with the people to deliver the public services to the public. He has to be connected with the public. How he will get connected with the public? By being compassionate and empathy enough, tolerable. Then only he will be able to perform his duty. He will have to have a proactive approach in his service. Like this, you have to write. That's it. Which one? 6th question. This question. Third question you are saying. 6th question. Can the components of emotional intelligence like emotional awareness, self-control, empathy, and flexibility, yes, bring a positive outcome if applied in decision making? Yes, it is connected. You can mention, like, you can bring that answer here also. That's the tricky way, that's a smart way you do. In exams, when you find some question, you can take the answer from the question and put that question inside the answer, you can fill it up. Okay, done. Now, what is the topic? It is work culture. See, there are some topics which is left over. We don't want, we'll forward as notes to you. What are the topics? We'll end by tomorrow. If you don't require to be discussed elaborate, I'll try to end by tomorrow because there is some philosophical part I have to do. I don't know whether I can complete within 2.5 hours. Tomorrow's class is 2.5 hours, no. So some theories, John Rawls theory, some concepts like what are those people who has discussed about ethics, especially eudaimonia concept of Aristotle. This and all we'll be discussing tomorrow's class. I need a separate class for that. That's why I kept in the third day after tomorrow. That is Wednesday will be the last class. But tomorrow I thought of discussing few more topics which is related to corruption. So what are quality of service delivery, public service, what is that? Utilization of public resources. There's a topic like the utilization of public resources, quality of service delivery. And what are the other topics? That's all no. So 3-4 topics are there remaining in this unit. Let me complete by within 1 hour tomorrow. We need not take any notes. I'll discuss. If you feel it is simply like a lot of time we are consuming related to these topics, we'll just put it. Why I'm saying that is because I'll forward a note, but don't demand me the written notes which I have here, or I dictating notes which I give for you, because the way I have written will not be in the proper organized structure. I will speak and I will give from mind. I will dictate you. Taking the points, I'll dictate from the mind. I cannot again write and send it to you. Don't demand that from me. I'll only forward those notes which I have in hand. If I'm discussing it in a guillotine process. No, guillotine movement. Where you do use it? In the budget. Similarly, tomorrow we can use that for the 7th unit. Complete it. Then after that, we have time, another 1.5 hours. I'll try to do that. If not, we'll carry it to the next Wednesday. Or I will try to complete by tomorrow itself. Okay? Okay, fine. Satisfied? Then how you want the next class to start over? That's the environment class. Anna, again, I only will be there. Same me, same I. But not this way. Environment will be totally different. I will not make you write notes. As much as possible, we'll try to give a PPT. PPT will be there at back of you. I'll be discussing all those concepts. Okay. Then I'll make you to write the current related thing there, and then you can mark and write. So I think PPT will be forwarded to you by the management. You can have an hand. I'll also send to the group. You can also circulate in the group. So environment will be simple. No, not to worry much. But ethics is a main subject. That's why I made you to write here. Environment is a prelim subject. You have to evaluate, except one question or two questions which comes in the mains part. Okay, so that also you can, if you have concepts in mind, you can frame an answer easily for environment. Done. So we'll try to start with the work culture today. Then we'll end the chapter tomorrow and we'll start the next unit. That's the philosophical part we'll see as fast as possible. So work culture. What is meant by work culture? Work culture is something informal. What? Yeah. Again, we'll do. Some magics on the board. I did not even give the redo or undo. But it has come. Why? Maybe something in that board. Nowadays they're making movies, like that. Ghost coming via cellular phones, cars, automobiles. But he will be a good ghost. He or she is a good ghost, no. They do not harm us. So work culture. This chair is also one culprit. It's something we can say it's an abstract concept and an informal concept. Work culture is an abstract and an informal concept. Why? The formal concept is talking about the structure of organization, how an organization has to be, the structure, the hierarchy, the model, which has to be followed by the organization. But work culture is an informal setup, but it is influencing the organization's behavior. It's having a major influence in the organization behavior. Organization behavior means the organization will not behave here. The people inside the organization's behavior is influenced by the work culture. That is something called as an informal setup and it's an abstract concept. That means work culture is a collection or assimilation of values, beliefs, and orientations about the organization. Okay, if this is a public organization, if it is an administrative culture, then you have to add, if this, I'm talking about administrative culture, then I can add here the values, beliefs, orientations related to the public organization. Instead of organization, I can write public organization if it is administrative culture. Don't say there is no administration inside a private organization, but we are only calling administrative culture for our public organization. Okay. So when we are talking about civil service, we are talking about administrative culture. So when I am talking about administrative culture, it's a collection of values, beliefs, orientations about the public organization. So nothing like how people behave, how people interact. No problem. You need not ask permission. Your face is very pale. Are you okay? You hold her hand. She's looking very pale. Should I come? Please take care of your health. Nowadays, the weather is not okay. Anna. And these drivers, they're taking my life. When I get into the car, they start sneezing, they start coughing. Today I stopped the car, I asked, Bhaiya, should I get out? Anna, continuously coughing. So at least you should wear a mask or something, no? You should be responsible towards the society. So administrative culture is collection of all these things. Now, how this culture has to be, how this work culture. So what are those things which influences this work culture? We said it's simply an informal device. Work culture is an informal device. It's something, a collection or assimilation of how the people interact, how the people behave, how the people form an informal organization and how this is going to influence the organizational behavior. So then what are those things which try to be the foundation of administrative work culture. Now we are going to talk about the administrative work culture only. Simply work culture means not all the organizational work culture we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss how an administrative work culture has to be and what are those things which forms the foundation of administrative work culture. So what are those things which forms the foundation of administrative work culture? As you'd have known that administration is simply not a different word. No, it's a part of society. That it was to keep in mind, okay? Society. Now you see what will be the foundations or what are those factors which affects this work culture, administrative work culture. That only we are going to see. Factors that affect administrative work culture or influence the administrative work culture. Okay. So what are those factors which are going to affect? In that first one, I can say about the foundation, the philosophical, generally write foundation. So what are those things which are going to act as foundation for this work culture? From where we have got inspired, this work culture, from where we have got inspired. There are two sources. One is the British influence, and second, the Constitution of India. There are two sources which is giving or which forms the or which impacts the work culture of an administration. What are those two sources? One is the British influence. Why? When the British formed this administration as a steel frame, no, they are the one who brought this civil service in India in the name of ICS. Now we are talking in the name of IAS. Only C and A got changed. But rest, the mentality of the British people, why they brought the service is still remaining. They brought that in order to coordinate with the common man. They doesn't know they don't know the local language. They don't know how to communicate with the local people. They don't know how to loot the resources completely. So then they devised an idea. Okay, cunning foxes. They came up with ICS. They said that, okay, we'll take the people. They want power. Let us give them power. We will have a person who can manage all these things for us. But he also knows a local language. Then what happened? Centralization of authority only is the core idea of their administration. Centralization of authority. Centralization of authority. This is the one principle which is influencing the administrative work culture till now. Centralization of authority. So they formed the administration based on this concept of centralization of authority only. There will be only one authority, one person who holds the power. All will be submissive to that. Okay, so that centralization of authority existed within the administration also, according to them. The superior will hold the utmost power. Everyone has to report to the superior. Okay, so then this is one principle which is influencing the administrative culture. And now we are talking about the Constitution of India. Constitution of India always put democratic supremacy and welfare of the people, right? No? And welfare of the people as the principle. Here you can also write centralization of authority plus immunity against popular control. So what happened? Now there are two confusing principles. One person who is the father of civil service, that the British who brought the civil service has said that the civil service has to be like a steel frame. They has to have centralization of authority only. There should not be any decentralization of power. Okay, and there should be no people should not assent to the people's interest. It should be against the populace control, because administration is like a part of government. They cannot act as per the people's interest and all. This is how their mentality is. That idea was instilled inside the civil service, and that's how the civil service was formed during their period, and this impacted the civil service work culture. But later, now we are talking about the constitution. We are moving from societal morality to constitutional morality. Same way we are talking that we have to uphold the constitutional principles, uphold the democratic values. Then we are talking about the democratic supremacy. That is, although the rules and regulations are also important, here people is very important. Now people's interest is the topmost priority of a civil servant who acts as the face of the government. So there is two sources, and confusing sources which impacts this work culture. And that is why now civil servants are trying to move from the rigidity, you know. So previously they were only sticking to rules and regulation. Now you have to have, through the mission Karma Yogi, we are talking about the work culture that what? Rule-based from role-based work culture. Rule-based to role-based. So we are trying to move, but we are having both. Even though we are asking them to move from the rule-based to role-based, still they are sticking to rules and regulations only. Okay. So this is one thing which is influencing the work culture. That is the foundation. Second, we can talk about the socialization. Don't have space. Have you noted this? Noted this, no? Even you take work culture definition if you want. So work culture. Take the definition for work culture. Work culture. Work culture. Yes. The work culture, work culture of an organization. The work culture of an organization. The work culture of organization is the assimilation or collection of, interactions comma behaviors, comma attitudes, comma atmosphere, comma values, comma beliefs, etc. Okay, etc. It is this concept of administrative work culture. Next paragraph you can write. The concept of administrative work culture. The concept of administrative work culture was introduced by Gabriel Alman. Alman, you know that Alman only. So it was introduced by Gabriel Alman. Introduced by Gabriel Alman as so the concept of administrative work culture was introduced by Gabriel Alman as a type of work culture, peculiar to public administration. It's a type of work culture peculiar to public administration. Okay. Peculiar to public administration. Full stop. Then you write, no, you continue like that. So, and hence administrative work culture, or administrative culture. Simply you can say administrative culture from now on. Okay. Hence administrative work culture or administrative culture can be defined as, administrative culture can be defined as the assimilation of values, comma beliefs, and orientations with regard to beliefs and orientations with regard to the public administration of the country. Okay, respect to the public, regard to the public administration of the country. Right? Then now what are those factors which establishes the work culture, which is going to influence the work culture? That only we are discussing. That first one is philosophy. What I written? Foundations, founding philosophy or foundations. In that, we told about, there's a formula you can write in here. The founding philosophy or foundations, which is going to influence an administration. For that, there are two founding philosophy. One is the British, and the other one is Constitution of India, not conflict of interest. Please don't write conflict of interest here. Sometimes students used to do that. So that's why I'm repeating again. Constitution of India. Okay, so then you can write the British philosophy is centralization of authority. So they never did this, decentralization. They never bring in decentralization. They're only talking about centralization of authority. So administrator acted as a powerhouse. But here we are talking about democratic supremacy plus democratic supremacy and disposition to act in people interest and predisposition towards welfare of people. And you know what is predisposition, no? The acting in people's interest. I will written read like this. These are the philosophies which are influencing the work culture. So second, we are talking about the socialization, how the socialization can influence. The first point itself we have mentioned about, can I change it? Second, you write about socialization. The first, when I talk about work culture, I told that work culture is simply the reflection of the society. Okay. So you can write a formula like this. Work culture influence or create an impact on the society. A good work culture will create an impact on the society. What type of work culture? How the organization is, how the public administration is, how the work environment is, whether they are honest, whether they are delivering the public services properly, whether they're sticking to the ethical principles. That is going to create an impact on the society, and the society is going to create an influence on the work culture. So society's reflection is there in the work. Society reflects back on the work culture. So how the society is, the society will also create an impact on the work culture. That's we are going to talk about the socialization. Under that, A. So under this, how the society is going to influence or reflect back on the work culture, first one, we can talk about the particularistic behavior. A, particularistic behavior. In most society, we are having the very parochial mentality. You know, people, there should be always a one way of communicating. Even you take any home, there will be only one leader, especially a male dominated society. So patriarchal mentality we do have. Here, he will be the decision maker. All others has to follow it. Same mentality is reflected in the society also. There is a leader will talk, no one from the below will express their opinions. And the leader will not ready to hear the words of their followers. Rare of rarest cases, there is exception. We cannot bring it here. Same way in the families also. Rare of rare cases, there is exception. Everyone will express their opinion and then they will take a collective decision. A leader will take a collective decision. But here, most of the cases like this, from where the superior, the orders will come and the below people has to follow. Same type of mentality is reflected there because administration is a part of society. Administration, the people who are taking the job of administration, the administrators are also a part of society. So now their mentality is made up in the same way as the society is. So here we are having a particularistic behavior. And because of this, what happens? We are talking about team effort, but there is no collective interest. There is no collective working, no teamwork. So this is going to bring all these problems, no teamwork. So very poor work culture. Okay. Then you can also mention about no consensus oriented. Okay. Then we talked about the loyalty. Now, we talk about the organizational loyalty. Instead of having loyalty towards the people, serving the public, they are having loyalty towards the people who are holding the position, the superiors. So organizational loyalty. So these types of mentality is growing in the work culture of the administration. So what happens there is always a silent treatment. Why we call this as a silent treatment? These are some words you can use. Silent treatment means here they know that superior are the one who are decision makers. From below, the decisions are going to the superiors for evaluation. Superior has to go give yes or no, and then you implement it. So what happens automatically? There is a group that comes the next one called as the defecation of authority, B. So this I'll explain through defecation of authority. Collective interest is totally spoiled. There is no collective interest inside the decision making. Okay. Right. If you want no teamwork, teamwork is so difficult. Okay. Teamwork is so difficult. There is no collective interest. Teamwork means collective interest. Team has to coordinate together. Every people's opinion and suggestions has to be taken into account while making a decision. But here it is not the case. Then it also strengthens centralization, but not bringing in decentralization. Okay, then administrative culture is totally relied on the organization loyalty. Okay, so in order to satisfy the superior, you are trying to act in his words, right? Then deification of authority. One E is best. Deification. Why? This leads to deification of authority because here we have being loyal to the superiors or being loyal to the organization instead of loyal to the people's interest. Now, what happened? A single authority, a single superior is treated as a deity, as a god. And a group of individuals who are holding a superior positions are treated as gods. And now their words are followed without even saying no, without even saying refusing it. Even though you know what is the reality, you're trying to follow their words as such because you're blindly loyal to the superiors. This leads to deification of authority. Okay, so they're making superior as gods, right? So this type of mentality is existing inside. Then apart from that, so this is socialization because of the social influence. Socialization means something which you go to socialize. You can write social influence, how society is influencing, how society mentality is influencing the work culture. Third, organizational influence. Organizational influence, how the other organs, okay, is influencing the work culture. Organizational influence. With this we'll end it, don't worry. So organizational influence. In this first you can say the political influence it itself. So how politics is influencing administration? Anyone? We already talked about criminalization of politics. All those words you bring here. Political pressures. Okay, criminals are entering into politics. Now they are putting pressures for the administrators. Already the politicians are always acting in their own interest only. So this political pressure started increasing after criminalization of politics. And now the civil servant has to act by the whims and fancies of the politicians and obey to the political masters. So they are very much confused whether they act in the people's interest or they have to follow the rules and regulation of the organization itself. What is the organization rules and regulation? Hierarchical structure. So hierarchical structure means you have to obey the superior's order. Now, if you are obeying the superior's order, you cannot promote the welfare of the people. So, but you are confused totally. You take a police department. They are totally confused. Whether they can act as a honest officer, whether they have to be honest to the political masters who are guiding them. So this type of confusion results in, so this political influence is causing influence on the work culture. And this is also derogating the ethical values, or sometimes it is also promoting the ethical values. Very rare cases that are now. Okay, so how this is going to affect the work culture? The same way you can also take about the judiciary. How judiciary will influence the work culture of the administration because of their slow a movement of judicial cases. What happens? Now there is no fear for the administrator over the judiciary. If they are committing any acts of corruptions or something, a favoritism, you know, it takes a lot of time and process to complete that. In meantime, you will get, promoted and move on in the ladder. Then he will also come to the retirement age. Then only they will be called in the court. You have done something corrupted. Last 15 years back, you have committed some act. Come here. We want to deliver some judgment. You give. Fine. I am now retired. No issue. Anna. So this type of thing. In that time also, your no judgment is delivered. Only you're called. So it drags on. So this and all is going to influence, and even the over activism of judiciary. Judiciary comes out of their sphere. The over activism which I told. They take the issues in the hand and then they try to ask the administrator to perform their functions. As we talked about the writs and mandamus, especially to command an administrator to perform his duty properly. Now, an administrator is completely feeling as insulted, or someone is looking into his duty, he says, then, you know, I am not coming and telling you, you do your judiciary process properly. Why are you coming and interfering in my duty? I know how to do my duty. So this type of mentality, a conflict is always existing. And that is going to affect the work culture because of the judiciary interferences inside the administration. Okay. So then third, because the ego of the administrator is touched here. So he doesn't want to abide by the judicial words. So he want to go against it sometimes. And this is affecting or disrupting the work culture altogether. Third, you can also mention about the people, how people is not cooperating along the administrators. And people are making, already we have discussed this topic. No. So when we are talking in the second unit, when we are talking about the application of, or what is the topic where we brought this? People's attitude towards administration. I told that how people are thinking about the administrators. They are thinking that these people are always suspicious in nature. They are unfriendly. They are hostile. They always stick to the rules and regulations. They never be friendly with people. They never take people's interest into account. And they always think that they want some money or some speed money or some political pulls in order to get their job done. So this type of mentality is also affecting the work culture of the administration. So these are some of the outside agencies which are influencing the administrative work culture. Done? Right. So how an ideal work culture has to be, that we will see tomorrow. Complete that by introducing the mission Karma Yogi there. With that, we will complete this topic. Another 3 topics are remaining. I'll do and the corruption and all, I think it's not necessary to discuss here. No. Challenges of corruption. Should we discuss here, or I will forward as points? Points, no. Then we'll see only the philosophical part tomorrow. So some 2 topics are remaining, that also. I think this girl did not come after that. I was carrying yesterday also. Thank you all.